Excuse me. So welcome to the preview of the monthly rune reading. I do these on Substack and I pull one rune, the central rune, and around that rune are 4 other runes. Now, the central rune is like the dominant energy of this month, in this case, Raido reversed. There is a vertical column in that reading, and those 2 runes from the subconscious, ancestors, gods even, would create an interplay with the central rune in combination with the rune that is above, which will come from Mundus, from Midgard, the outside 3D world. Nothing to do with spirituality per se, it's mostly to do with societal dynamics. And then what you have to not focus on, what you were best to leave behind, and the way forward in order to successfully navigate the culmination of all these runes together. The central rune this month was Raido reversed. Now Raido being the rune of forward motion, short cycles, as opposed to Yera, which would be long cycles, the daily cycle, rather than the yearly cycle, which is Yera. So it is the rune of going the right way. Now, we can all have different interpretations depending on the situation. What is the right way? What is the right way for you may not be the right way for somebody else. And in this case, it is the central rune. So it's the main focus. And it's a bit of a warning in that sense, meaning that, excuse me, as it is a rune that has to do with motion, there is also an unmistakable relationship with travel. And the runes in Merkstaf, which means upside down, reversed, this may negatively impact travel. It may mean that there is a reason for you to travel unexpectedly, which can negatively impact your finances, as you cannot plan when your train, your bus, your airplane ticket, especially if you travel out of season or within season, unexpectedly can turn out quite expensive. You have to find a hotel, all these things. You cannot plan for it, so it's a drain on your finances because you have to take what you can get. So, an unexpected travel that can also have an unwelcome influence on your mental state, and your mental state can then negatively affect your own health. I truly believe this, that stress is a silent killer. It's not given enough credit for people's bad health. Stress compounds already existing problems, whether they be mentally, emotionally, or physically. Puts a very heavy strain on the body and taps into resources that you may not even have. But back to the rune. If unexpected travel is not in the stars, in the runes for you, but instead you already have planned a trip or a travel and it was already set and registered, you may encounter unexpected delays and difficulty, which coincides with the coming Mercury retrograde period, which is typical. You can expect mechanical or electronic failures, delays. Now, with Raido, there's also the aspect of careers and jobs or general employment. It is a cycle that most people go through every day. You wake up, you get ready, you go through the motions, and you cycle back home, and cycle repeats next day. There may be difficulty at work or difficulty to get a project done, which can be due to equipment failure or just a difficulty in communicating. Difficulty in finding fluent and effective communication with your peers or your colleagues. And this can very, very much affect the general mood of the work floor. And this can cause tension. Try not to take that too personal, even though that can be difficult and very frustrating, and especially when there seems to be little that can be done to remedy a situation or a problem quickly. And while these can be minor frustrations, especially on the workforce, I mean, they can compound. So several small problems suddenly become one big problem, and that can cause a lot of stress for people, because when it pours, it rains. When it hits the fan, those types of situations. And yeah, pay good attention to personal health this month, especially stress-related illnesses. So, because even if a solution is in sight for any problem that you may be facing, the fact that the rune is reversed in Merkstaf is a warning that it may take time to see the effects of a solution, or that the road to the solution may be hard in itself. So be ready to put in an effort, hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. And unfortunately, with Raido reversed, the odds of there being problems that we have not prepared for is quite high, because these would have been problems that would have been very hard to predict or very hard to foresee, and it is very easy to forget things that one may want to prepare for. It is very difficult to prepare for the unexpected, because you don't know what to expect, so you don't know what you need to prepare. Keep in mind though that the Rider reversed, yes, it's a warning, but it's definitely not a rune of catastrophe. Absolutely not. It's just a rune that warns you, be prepared to put in an effort. It is not something to panic over. It is just one of these uncomfortable situations in life, and you will have to work through them actively. It will require an effort. And otherwise, if you don't put in an effort, well, that tends to compound the problem even more on the long run. So in the moment, this may feel comfortable. In the long run, this can come back to bite you in the ass. So lastly, another unfortunate effect of this rune is the end of relationships. If a relationship was already nearing its end, a rune like Raido will make it a breakup more likely to happen. This can be a romantic relationship, work, or a platonic relationship. When it happens, try not to completely burn bridges, especially when jobs and careers are involved, because you may want to keep the door slightly open for future mutual benefits. Now, this can also be the case in interpersonal relationships, but especially in work situationships, if you end things on bad terms, word spreads very quickly. So try not to have too much animosity when such a breakup occurs on whatever level. Because any chaos that you can avoid during a time like this is a future problem avoided. Raido reversed warns of these problems that come back later where you don't expect them. Because it will be the type of problem, any type of problem, that although it is not catastrophical, it will still be unpleasant. And sometimes even unnecessary, and outside of your control. It is a problem imposed on you by the world. And there's nothing you can do about it but to find a problem in your own life and how to deal with it. Yes, and these things do tend to come at times that you're not prepared for it and probably didn't see it coming. Probably. You may be highly psychic and you did see it coming. I don't know, maybe. But yeah, that was the rune reading for this month. I thank you very much for your viewership and your readership on Substack. And I wish you a very, very pleasant day in spite of the annoying and unpleasant forecast.